Welcome to the Diva Life Show, where music meets fashion, culture meets travel, and we explore the stories of extraordinary artists and entrepreneurs. Hey there, and welcome back to the Diva Life Show. I'm so happy to have you here. And today, I'm trying something a little bit different because I was feeling a little bit stuck behind my desk before, and I just wanted this to be more, casual with us talking to each other and having a little bit more freedom of movement and just a more chill vibe. So today I'm sitting on my desk instead of sitting behind my desk, but I wanted to come on today and talk about something that is a little bit of a riff on what we were talking about during the last episode when we were talking about indoctrination. And today we're going to be talking about vision and why it's so important to have a clear vision for your brand. And it goes hand in hand with indoctrination. And if you haven't seen that episode, I really suggest that you go back and watch that one because it gives specific tips to think about to indoctrinate in a positive, ethical way people into your brand so that you can build a really strong, loyal, excited community. And also I talk about tips for recognizing when indoctrination is bad or dangerous, whether that's with a political group, an organization, or even like within a coaching container, because sometimes that happens where you get into a coaching container and it feels really exciting and fun at the beginning, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right here. So go back and listen to that one. I think it's got some really, really great things to think about in order to keep yourself safe and in order to engage and attract your audience. So today we're going to build on that by talking about your brand vision and why it is so incredibly important for you to have a powerful vision for your brand. Now, if you're new to me or you're just sort of getting, tuned into this Diva Life Show community, I want to let you know who I am and why I'm talking about this. So my background is as an opera singer growing up, and for many years pursuing an operatic career. I still sing operatic music. I still perform sometimes, but I made a really big pivot about 20 years into my singing career to pursue personal branding. And I've been I'm a certified personal brand strategist. My business is Clear Voice Branding, and I've been working as a personal brand strategist for over a decade. It's not just something I picked up here and there. I'm certified in this. I've worked clients. I have a signature process that I take them through to get them from confused and cloudy to clear, confident, and really magnetizing their audience. So what I'm talking about today is something that I actually work with my private clients to do to get really clear, because it's one of the foundational pieces to creating a powerful personal brand. So in thinking about your vision, there's certain things that I really want you to think about and concentrate on as you're crafting out this vision for your brand. And when I say vision for your brand, I mean, where do you want to go? What is it that you want to accomplish as a person? What is it that you want your brand to accomplish? What is the big vision that you have for your success and for the success of your brand? And it can be really overwhelming sometimes to think about that. So one of the ways to tune in is to just imagine what it would be like if you were already at the point where you wanted to be. What would that look like? What would you be doing? Who would be surrounding you? What kind of work would you be doing? What would you be wearing? What would you be getting paid? What would you be doing with people? Would you be speaking? Would you be traveling? Where would you be living? All of those things. You just let that marinate in your imagination. And I know for me, sometimes when I'm like, what is my vision? And I get out a pen and a paper and I write it down, I can't figure anything out. It's usually when I'm driving, when I'm walking or running on the treadmill. Maybe I've got some music pumping, or in the shower or whatever. You're relaxed. Even when I'm traveling, maybe on the airplane, and you don't have that pressure. Sometimes it's easier to, fantasize about this vision that you have to get your brain relaxed, your brain waves moving a little bit more slowly. If you're someone who likes to meditate or do visualizations, that can be a really great way to do it. However it works for you, just let it percolate. Let it percolate what you want this vision to be. And as it starts to coagulate in your mind, here are some things that I think are really great to think about. For your brand, for your vision, one of the mistakes that I see people make, and one of the mistakes that I have made in the past, is not making the vision big enough. You have to have a big enough vision so that you have to have something to shoot for. And here is what happens. A lot of times people make smaller, safer visions, and it doesn't motivate them, right? If you really want to be speaking all over the world, if you want to have millions, not hundreds and not thousands, not even 10,000 followers on social media, if you want millions, then put millions in your vision. And sometimes that can feel like it's out of reach, but we're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to talk about how you can stay motivated towards that big, big, big vision without getting overwhelmed. But if you don't make the vision big enough, you make it smaller. You're working like you're hustling towards the smaller vision. You take actions that align with a smaller vision, and it might not feel exciting enough to you. So that's the second piece. Make the vision big enough, but not just for you, like the vision big enough for you, but you need to make the vision big enough so that your audience is also excited about the vision, that they are part of a big movement. And the second piece is it exciting? Is it exciting to you? Does it make you want to get out of bed in the morning and work towards that, right? So I'll tell you something that happened to me recently. Well, I'm going to tell you about it in a second because I want to tell you about the third thing. So you need to make it exciting enough for you that it makes your heart pitter patter. It makes you go, oh my God, I want this. This would be so cool. Or you see somebody that already has this vision happening in their life, and you feel a little pang of jealousy or a big pang of jealousy. You're like, oh my God, I'm so jealous that person has that. Good. That means you want it, right? Claim it. Which brings me to the third thing, which is admit at least to yourself what you really want. And if you don't feel like you have a safe environment to admit what you really want to the people around you, don't tell them. If you feel like someone is going to make you feel self-conscious or pull back from the vision that you have in your heart, you don't have to share it. There's no rule book out there saying you have to share everything with everybody. If it feels safe to do so, if you have an encouraging community, if you have a bestie or a spouse or a sibling or whatever, whoever it is that is going to say, go for it, then tell them and have them be part of your cheer team. But if it's not, you don't have to tell them. Keep it in your heart and keep working towards it until you do surround yourself with people who are supporting you. But you have to admit what you really want and pick something that is truly exciting to you, because when you are lit up by it, your audience is going to be lit up by it. So you need something big enough so that it's worth all the effort and that you're not directing your most precious resource of energy and excitement and enthusiasm on a goal that's really not going to get you jazzed up to the level that you need to stay motivated. And you need to feel excited about it, because that means it's aligned with who you are and what you really want. Your excitement is your compass. So make sure that you are excited about that, you are passionate about it. Don't tank, don't settle. Really pick the thing that you're excited about. And then the third thing around that is admit what you really want. If you want to host retreats in Paris, do that. Make that your vision. So here's a way that I recently experienced some jealousy or some I feel like I talk about being triggered here a lot, but it's good because when you feel triggered emotionally, that is something that you need to pay attention to. It's something I need to pay attention to. So I was recently scrolling on Instajams, and I came across a photographer that I've worked with in the past, and I love her. She's amazing. She travels all over the world and takes pictures of really awesome people. And she was at an event in Paris taking pictures of the clients of a coach that had been there. And I had been in Paris, was it 2 springs ago? Not this spring, but the spring before, at an event. And this photographer was there taking pictures of the event. I knew her. I'd met her at another event. We had done a photo shoot together back in Boston. And when I saw the pictures that she had taken for this other coach just recently, I was like, oh, this looks like so much fun. And she was like, oh, are you ready to do it again? And I was like, yeah, that would be awesome. And it really struck me that I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go to someone else's retreat in Paris again. I want to have my own retreat in Paris. I want to bring my divas with me to Paris to do fabulous photo shoots where I help style them, and we're walking the streets of Paris, and I'm singing concerts for them, and we're going shopping to the opera and going out to eat and talking about being leaders and swimming by the pool and having our pictures taken, right? Like, I want to do that. And it really struck me in that moment that I was jealous of this other coach, that someone else yet again had taken their clients to Paris. And I don't want to be a client at a Paris photo shoot. I want to lead a retreat in Paris and have my clients be photographed by international photographers. It's been a dream of mine for a long time. So if you have something like that, where you're like looking at something like, oh, that would be so awesome, or oh, I'm so jealous that that person is doing it, check in with yourself. Why are you jealous? It's because you want to do that. And if you really want to do it, there is no reason that you can't do it. So make sure that your vision is big enough, exciting enough, and make sure that you admit what you really want to yourself and use your jealousy as a guide. Okay, so now that we kind of have these things of why it's important to you, it's also important for your audience. And I guess it is important for you and your audience. But one of the things that happens for you as the entrepreneur, when you really claim your vision, one of the questions that you need to ask yourself is, who do I need to become to have this vision be a reality? And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But the reason that it's also important for your audience is because you are sharing who they need to become. The transformation that you are going on is the transformation more than likely that they are going to be along for the journey on, whether they are watching you transform, which is incredibly empowering and motivating, inspiring. If you watch someone's journey to get from where they are, if they include you in the journey to get from where they are to where they want to be, and you're watching them and they're like, oh my God, I can do this. How motivating and inspiring is that for your audience? So for example, one of my most immediate goals right now is to have 10,000 followers on social media. So I am sharing that goal. I want to build this Diva Life community. I want to build rock stars that want to come to Paris, that want to have glamorous, fulfilling lives, that want powerful brands of their own so they can have their own transformations and their own, movement of excited, loyal followers and buyers, right? I want to have that 10,000 mark, and I'm going to include people on the journey of coming along, of watching me like figure out how to do that and make that happen and invite people into that process. That's very empowering for me. Who do I need to become to hit that 10,000 mark goal? And who does my audience get to watch me be? And what does it inspire them to do and for them to become? Who do they get inspired to become themselves on their own journey? So this is really, really symbiotic between you and your audience. Okay, so here are some questions that you need to think about if for some reason you are nervous about hitting your big vision. What will I do if it doesn't work or I hit challenges along the way? Because this is the place where people often tank. They hit a bump, whether that bump is technical, logistical, whatever, a mindset block, whatever it is. A lot of people stop. It's like, I'm too overwhelmed. I'm too scared. I'm not good enough. I don't know how to do this thing. This person has more money than I do to make these things happen. So the first thing that you need to think about in order to stay true to your vision is not giving up your vision when you hit a bump, but what needs to change in the chain of actions to get there. So I worked with a business coach a couple of years ago, and it was, I spent almost a whole year building out funnels for my business. And one of the biggest things that I took away from that experience was, if your product isn't selling, you don't immediately tank the funnel. You don't immediately go and build a whole other product and a whole other funnel because your launch failed. What you do is you go back and you look at the funnel. What needs to change within the funnel? Is it the initial messaging? Does your sales page need to be tweaked? Does the picture on your ad, your Facebook ad, need to change? Maybe you need to do some A/B testing for the picture. Maybe you need to change some copy. Maybe it's the right picture, but you need to change the copy on the picture. Maybe the ad is great, but the sales page is kind of blah. Or maybe the video on the sales page isn't really saying what it is. Or maybe it's a pricing issue. Maybe there's nothing wrong with the offer. The offer's great, but maybe it's priced too low. Maybe it's a luxury package and people are dismissing it because it's not priced high enough. So instead of like tanking the vision for selling this product, you look at the chain, you look at the whole funnel and see what needs to change, what needs to be tested, and what needs to be retried to get the feedback. So you need to do that same kind of evaluation for the funnel of your vision. If something is not working, if you're hitting roadblocks on the way to your vision, what needs to change? What do you need to do? So here are some questions to think about. What do I need to learn? Is there something that I'm not apt at yet? If I don't have the skill for yet, do I need to learn better marketing skills, better copy skills? Do I need to learn do I need to learn dance moves for my reels and TikToks that everybody says you shouldn't do because it damages your credibility? I say if you want to dance and have fun doing it, right? But what is it that you need to learn? Do you need to learn how to do back-end stuff? Do you need to learn how to do some photo editing? Do you need to learn how to engage brand deals? Do you need to know how to do contracts? Do you need to know how to speak French? What do I need to learn? Through this process of evaluating where there are holes in the funnel to my vision, what do I need to learn? And start learning it. Instead of tanking your vision, stay committed to the vision and commit to learning what you don't know that you need to know. And maybe part of what you need to learn is what you don't know, right? Like, what don't I know? Ask somebody who's been there. What are the things that I need to learn or do to get to where you are, right? The second thing is, with whom do I need to surround myself, right? Who are the people that need to be around me? I talked before about like, don't share your vision with people who are going to make you feel badly about it. Well, you want to surround yourself with people who cheer you on, who motivate you, who challenge you, who teach you, who tell you hard truths sometimes. Like sometimes we hit a wall because we don't want to look at something that's hard to look at. We need people in our lives that say, the reason you're not moving forward is because you're not addressing this, right? I say that a lot of times in my copy on my Instagram page. One of my big things for people is image, right? You might have all your ducks in a row, but your image is not going to support your vision, right? So you need people that will tell you truths like that. So who do you need in your inner circle? And contrary to that, who do you need to edit from your inner circle? Who do you need to limit your time with? You don't always have to cut people out, but you may have someone maybe in your friend group or maybe a family member who's not as supportive, or they just don't understand. Like a lot of times their friends and family, they want to support us, they want to cheer us on, but they don't know how in the best way. And sometimes at certain parts in your journey, like it might be good to limit either your time with them or your conversations with them. I'm not saying to ditch your family, friends and family. I'm just saying, look at the people around you. Is there anybody that is detracting from your ability to go after your vision? And if it is so, then maybe you need to think about how much time or how much intimacy you have with that person around your vision. So who do you need to surround yourself with? Who do you need to limit or edit time with? What do you need to learn? What part of the chain towards your vision needs attention? And the other thing that I just mentioned is, who do I need to become in order to have this vision actually happen? And that means what mindset does this kind of person have? Are they a quitter? Are they overly do they get down easily? And there is no shame in that. I am somebody who has struggled my whole life with different levels of anxiety or getting nervous or tanking. And I've worked also very, very, very hard, spent a lot of money, a lot of time working on my mindset. So you have to be honest with yourself. If you're someone who is easily discouraged, what can you do for your mindset to keep you positive, keep you going? You have to address that. The other thing is, what physical energy do you need to go after your vision. If you're tired and sick all the time, if you don't have the physical energy, if you feel lethargic, then you need to look at your health, your wellness, your diet, your rest, what you're intaking, what you're eating, right? Like one of the things that I've done recently was I've cut way back on my alcohol consumption. I haven't had anything alcoholic to drink for probably over 6 months. And it's a choice because it makes me feel better when I'm not drinking. I'm not saying I'm never going to drink alcohol again, and I don't judge people who do drink alcohol. I just know for me personally, my energy levels, my mood, my health, how I feel in my body is so much better when I'm not having alcohol. So that was a choice that I made. And also I'm a singer. It's not great for my singing voice to drink alcohol. So are there any things that you need to change about? Are you going to bed at 2:00 every morning? Morning, night, right? Are you going to bed too late and then the next day you're tired? Are you not moving your body enough? Are you moving your body too much? Are you over exercising? Are you not eating enough calories to fuel your brain and your body? What is it that you need to do physically to be in optimal health and energy to go after your goal? And then the last thing I'm going to talk about is kind of a sensitive thing, but I just mentioned it a little while ago, and it's really important. I'm sorry, not sorry, sorry, not sorry, sorry, not sorry. What is your image? What kind of image? And I mean, how are you dressing? What does your hair look like? What do your brand photos look like? What do your videos look like? What does your space look like? What does your office look like? What do your products look like? What does your online presence look like? What does your logo look like? What is your image? Is your image supporting the vision that you have to do the thing that you want to do? If I want to take clients to Paris to do a luxury retreat and do brand photos and sing opera for them and take them on this like luxury whirlwind experience, I cannot show up constantly disheveled, tired, not looking nice, not presenting myself in the best light. They're gonna be like, who the hell is she? Why is she going to Paris? Like, your image needs to support your goals, and it's not just a vanity thing for the outcome. How you look affects how you see yourself and how you feel. It's a very powerful spiral upward or downward. Your confidence tanks when you don't feel good about the way you look. When you feel amazing and your image is in alignment with your goals, you feel great and you're more able to chase after those goals with confidence. So having this vision, knowing who you need to become, having it big enough, having it exciting enough for you and your audience, admitting what you really want, paying attention to your body, how you look, who you surround yourself with, who you don't surround yourself with. And then the final thing that I want to say is sometimes when we have these big visions, we can say, like, how is this possible? This isn't possible for me. And of course, you want to hit smaller benchmarks along the way. Like if I want to have 10,000 followers in my social media, I need to set smaller benchmarks along the way. Like, okay, right now I'm at like 3,700. So maybe 5,000 would be the benchmark, but that's not the goal. The goal is 10,000 right now, right? So you don't want to get stuck at the smaller ones, but set the little benchmarks and celebrate those, right? When you hit something, your brain, it creates brain. It's like the reward, like the Pavlov's dog, where, when I do this and I touch this, I get burned, something bad happens over and over again. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, when you have something positive, when I do this, I get a reward. I worked really hard. I got something great for it. I went out for dinner with, I went for a nice walk, or I bought a handbag or whatever. Like I took a nap when I had hit this benchmark. It was really fun and exciting. It wires your brain to want to do that more. So you have the smaller benchmarks, but you keep the big vision. And if you are someone who's like, only other people get that in their lives. Only other people achieve those big things. Only people who are skinny or pretty or have a lot of money or have a lot of connections or live on the coast, and I live in a small town in Nebraska. It's never going to happen for me. Look for evidence that it can happen for you. There are thousands and thousands of extremely successful people who came from very, very limited means. In fact, a lot of people who are at the tippy top who are the most successful did come from limiting means because they were hungry to have a different circumstance. So look for people who are doing what you want to do and claim it for yourself. Like you want to use that jealousy of like, oh, I'm so jealous that that person has that thing. I can have that thing. That is showing me what I want. Oh, that huge vision. I don't know how that's possible. But look, that person did that. That means I can do that. So have all of those things to support you along the way. And then the last thing I want to say about vision is about beyond like the superficial things about desire. I don't think desire is superficial, but these other things about creating it, having it exciting, admitting it to yourself, how you can get there, who you need to become, what you can do for your audience, all of those things at a much deeper level. Why are you freaking here on the planet? What is your purpose in life? God, the universe, your parents, whatever, however you want to think about it, created you. You have one chance at this life. We have one chance at this life. And over the course of your life, you may have more than one vision. You may pivot your brand. You may change who you are along the way, and that vision may change. But we only have one life. How do you want to use your gifts and talents to impact the world? How do you want to use it? I want to be spent. I don't know. There's some famous quote or some famous poem or Bible verse. I don't know what it is, but it's like at the end of my life, I want to have nothing left. I want to have spent it all. I want to spend all of my gifts and talents. I want to have used my gifts and talents so that I feel complete, so that I feel actualized, so that my life has meaning and that I've impacted the world by being here and by having my excitement and my energy make other people feel excited and energized to use their gifts. That's what having a powerful vision is all about, and changing the world for better. Whatever your vision is, if your brand is about, saving the planet, then throw yourself into that. If your brand is about helping women look more beautiful so that they can feel empowered in the world, throw yourself into that. If your vision is to help entrepreneurs make a ton of money so that they can bring more good and change into the world, then throw yourself into that. If it's to be the best parent that you can be, then throw yourself in. Make the vision as big as possible, because it's altruistic and selfish at the same time. When you live a big life, you empower others to live a big life as well. So the vision for your brand is personal and it's global. Okay, I hope you found this helpful. If you have any comments or questions, you can hit me up in the comments or find me on socials. I'm Heather Poduska, everywhere that I show up. If you haven't joined the Diva Life community, be sure to you can join at Instagram. In my bio, there's a link to join the Diva Life community where you will get on in the community of the blog and what's coming up, and you'll get the notification when the podcast and the show drops first, and any upcoming events. And when we do go to Paris, you'll know first. So you can join there. Be sure to watch this on YouTube or share it out on Instagram. Not Instagram, iTunes or Spotify, which the links are on Instagram. And so we can build the community and this movement. And I'd love to hear your comments and questions about the show or any other things that you would like to know about building your powerful personal brand. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and one other thing, I want to hear what your vision is. Drop your vision in the comments. I want to celebrate you and your vision so that all boats can rise. Until then, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye. And that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Diva Life Show. If you liked what you heard and saw today, I would love to have you join us for the next episode as I interview one of my amazing guest artists or entrepreneurs, or for another solo episode where you and I get to know each other better. And speaking of getting to know each other better, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your feedback and comments, so you can find me on the socials at Heather Poduska. Just DM me. And if you'd like to know more about me, my services, more about the show, you can visit my website at heatherpoduska.com. And if you liked the show and you like the content, you know anybody who would also like music, fashion, culture, and entrepreneurship, share it on out. Let people know, let your friends know. And if you'd be so kind, I would so appreciate a review wherever you are consuming the podcast, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. It helps us expand our reach and grow the community. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you many days filled with joy and with music. Until next time, as always, here's to hitting all your high notes. Take care. Bye-bye.